And good afternoon, America. Greetings and welcome to the Dead Doctors Don't Lie radio program. I'm Pharmacist Ben, sitting in for Doc today. It's great to have you with us. We'll be taking your phone calls here in a little bit. If you have questions about medications, supplements, the longevity products, or if you just have a comment or you want to share a success story, we would love to hear from you on the Dead Doctors Don't Lie program. Our number today is 831-685-1080 priority line, or toll-free 888-379-2552, 888-379-2552. All right, so as we move into March and New Year's resolutions begin to fade into memory, begin to fade into history, it's possible that some of us may have lost our momentum when it comes to our annual commitment, our annual New Year's resolution commitment to stay healthy and lose weight. So I want to start the program off today talking a little bit about weight loss and dieting, everybody's favorite health subject, as most of you know. I'm not a big believer in using fancy diet programs and diet pills to lose weight. And as you might expect, if you've been listening to me or watching any of my presentations or lectures over the years, my take on weight loss is a little bit outside of the box. The way I look at weight loss, it's not so much a question of willpower and forcing ourselves to eat differently or to eat better, as much as it is a question of being satisfied, of biochemical satisfaction. In biology, we call these areas of the brain that are responsible for making us feel satisfied, making us feel full, shutting off our appetite. We call these areas in the brain satiety centers. Satiety simply means satisfaction. We eat for our brain. We eat for biochemical satisfaction. And that, my friends, is a key. In fact, that's a secret to weight loss. We eat from our brains. Activation of the switch in the brain that shuts off the appetite is the secret to weight loss, and one of the most important strategies for hitting that appetite shut-off switch is to eat more protein, which means if you want to lose weight, eat more protein, especially slender FX type protein, whey protein that has what are called BCAAs, or branched chain amino acids. These BCAAs that you get in the Slender FX product are a special type of amino acid that hones in on the appetite suppression centers in the brain. And as a bonus, the BCAAs can help you sleep, they can help you build muscle, and they can help accelerate the healing process. This, my friends, is the power of good nutrition. BCAAs are found in most high-protein foods, but especially in the Slender FX and the whey protein component of the Slender FX. The foods we eat today, for the most part, are deficient in these branched chain amino acids. They're mostly found in high-protein foods, and if we don't get enough protein, if we're not getting enough BCAAs, we can't turn on that appetite suppression switch, and we keep eating it. The Slender FX is an especially good source of branched chain amino acids. If you want to lose weight, get a couple of jugs in your auto ship. Make sure you're getting your Slender FX, your whey protein, 2 or 3 times a day. Just a couple teaspoonfuls in water. What you're going to notice after you use your Slender FX is after a few minutes, that protein is going to get into your system and you're just not going to feel hungry. Over time, the appetite suppression will become dramatic, and you're going to find you're not eating as much. You won't have to force yourself away from the table. You're just not going to want as much food, and you're not going to have to use a bunch of willpower. And of course, as you're eating less, you're going to find that you're dropping the pounds too easily. It'll be a natural thing, and that's how losing weight is supposed to happen. Another aspect of losing weight involves a hormone called leptin. That's Leptin, leptin. Leptin is the Greek word for skinny. Leptin is made in our fat cells, and like protein, leptin shuts off our appetite suppression center, or it shuts off our appetite center. The more body fat we're carrying, the more leptin is in our blood, and the less we're supposed to eat. At least that's the way it's supposed to work. Unfortunately, over time, if we stay fat, if we carry body fat, our bodies are going to stop listening to leptin. That's called leptin resistance, and it's a big problem. When we're leptin resistant, our brain doesn't pay attention to leptin signals. It doesn't pay attention to the appetite suppressant signals of leptin, and we keep eating. So how do you increase leptin? How do you make your body more susceptible to the effects of leptin? Make sure you're getting your B vitamins, Make sure you're getting your zinc, make sure you're getting your vitamin C, and that means making sure you're getting your Beyond Tangy Tangerine, which is loaded in all these nutrients. That's the best way to sensitize your body to leptin. That's one of the main reasons why people tell you that you'll lose weight on the Beyond Tangy Tangerine, that you just don't feel as hungry. Not because it mechanically or pharmacologically shuts off your appetite, but because it shuts off your appetite via biochemistry. And there's more. Last month, an article was published in the journal Nutrition, which focused on the connection between our brain and serotonin and sugar. Serotonin is a hormone most of you guys have heard of. Most people will tell you serotonin is a happy hormone, but that's actually not true. Serotonin is a coping hormone. It helps us cope. It's a awareness hormone, a vigilance hormone. It makes us aware of our environment. It keeps us vigilant to what's going on in our world. It's a type of stress hormone, and it helps us deal with survival threats. Serotonin raises the bar on what we consider an emergency. It makes us more able to handle what life throws at us. And all of this means that the higher our levels of serotonin, the more vigilant and aware we're going to be, and the more sensitive we're going to be to threats to our survival, the more we're burning through serotonin. And as it turns out, eating carbohydrates increases serotonin production. If you're one of those people that can't stop eating the pasta or the rice or the potatoes or the bread, chances are you're self-medicating. These kind of foods are called comfort foods because of their effect on serotonin. A great way to deal with this kind of self-medication is to make sure instead of getting your carbohydrates from potatoes and from rice and from cereal, is to make sure you're getting your carbs from veggies and make sure that you're eating your Slender FX, you're using your Slender FX with the veggies because the Slender FX has some of the raw materials that are involved for helping build serotonin. Long story short, my friends, if you're trying to lose weight, you don't need willpower. You don't need to force yourself away from the table. What you do need to do is make sure you're on a good nutritional supplement program. I'm Pharmacist Ben. You're listening to the Dead Doctors Don't Lie program. Our number is 831-685-1080 or toll free 888-379-2552. We're coming back at you right after this with more good health information on the Dead Doctors Don't Lie program. What is up, Doug? How you doing, buddy?
Great to have you back on the show again.
Thank you.
And I saw this Fox News article, and I immediately thought of you because I've heard you talk about this before. And the headline of this story reads, Nutritionist Discusses Benefits of Eating in Color. And this is all based off of a book written by Frances Largeman Roth that is titled Eating in Color, Delicious Healthy Recipes for You and Your Family. And what they're talking about is, eating things that are brightly colored. They're talking about reds and oranges and yellows and greens and blues and indigos and violets and even tans and blacks. And they kind of go through a list of various foods that are...
What's a black fruit?
A black food would be considered something
Olives.
like black rice, black beans, olives, coconut, chia seeds, chocolate, hemp seeds, barley, flax seeds, quinoa.
Those are black?
Well, those are in the black and tan, which I don't know if that's any reflection on the Irish and their hatred of the black and tans, but that's a whole different story. But yeah, they talk about it.
That went over my head. I'm not sure I understand that.
Oh, that's what they used to refer to the British soldiers when they were the IRA people. So. But, they say the reds, they talk about things like pomegranates, raspberries, strawberries, watermelon, radishes, tomatoes, beets, red peppers, radicchio, rhubarb, cherries, cranberries, red apples, and, of course, red onions. And they talk about the various benefits of eating these different colored foods. But it made me think of you because I've heard you often talk about the, eating brightly colored foods because they do things to protect your skin from the sun and all kinds of benefits for your immune system, heart health, it protects against cancer. I mean, just go for go for the fruits.
Do you know what colors are? From a chemical standpoint, from a nutritional chemical standpoint. You know what those things are? What we call colors?
They're the reflection of what pigment that is.
Yeah, they're a reflection of certain fractions of light. Red, when we see something as red, that means it's absorbing everything but red. It's absorbing orange, yellow, green. Roy G. Biv, right? Red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet. You remember that from high school? That's kind of basic high school chemistry. Light is divided up into 7 fractions. We call them colors. If you look at the rainbow, those are the 7 fractions of light: red, orange, yellow, red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet, so-called Roy G. Biv. Now, if you're looking at red, that means you're looking at something that's absorbing everything but red and reflecting the red back. Why is that important? Well, it's important because it means that you can get protection for your skin for specific fractions of color based on eating colors. So if you eat red, you're going to get protection from red. If you eat orange, you're going to get protection from orange. If you eat yellow, you're going to get protection from yellow, and on throughout the spectrum. And this is really important because when it comes to skin health, anything we can do to protect our skin from ultraviolet radiation of any particular colors is going to have tremendous benefit. And that's why I've been in the skincare business now for, going on 31 years. And in the skincare world, everybody seems to be obsessed with solar protection, ultraviolet protection. Well, it turns out that eating your reds and your oranges and your greens and your blues and your indigos and your violets are one of the best ways to protect your skin from the sun. This is why I'm always hitting on folks eating veggies, and also why I think it's so important for colored veggies. And this is also why I think it's so important, to eat algae like the kind that you get in the Z radical. The Z radical is made with brown algae, a little bit of red algae probably, and these algae are loaded with these pigments, these colorful pigments that protect your skin from the sun. And Z radical is important for your digestive health. Z radical is important for your blood, helps thin the blood. Z radical is important for the immune system, but Z radical is also super, super important for your skin. It's one of the best sun protective nutritional supplements you could ever use. We don't even talk about that. That's important to recognize, in addition to all your other colors, your reds and your oranges and your blues and your greens and your indigos and your violets. They'll all protect your skin from the sun. How cool is it that our Creator made all these wonderful nutrients colorful? How fun is that we can eat the rainbow and improve our health? Eat the rainbow, that's what that's called. In fact, I read another book I was telling you about earlier, Douglas, called The Color Code, which talks all about this. These are bioflavonoids and carotenes, basically, that provide the colors to fruits and vegetables. And by the way, most of the good stuff in a fruit is in the colorful aspect in the outside, in the peel part of the fruit. All right, I'm Pharmacist Ben. You're listening to the Dead Doctors Don't Lie program. We got to take a break. We'll be back right after this on the ZBS Radio Network. What else you got for us, Douglas?
I thought we'd talk a little bit about a study that was published in the Journal of the American Medical Association's Journal of Pediatrics, and the headline reads, Acetaminophen during pregnancy tied to ADHD.
Tylenol.
Yeah, they say the over-the-counter pain reliever acetaminophen, or the active ingredient in Tylenol, during pregnancy may increase the child risk of attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, or ADHD. And this is a Danish study. Say that study researchers looked at 64,000 expecting mothers over a 6-year time period. More than half of those mothers-to-be took acetaminophen after delivery. They followed the newborns through childhood, screening them for ADHD and other behavioral problems, found that children of the women who had taken acetaminophen were 13% more likely to have ADHD-like behaviors at age 7, including issues with attention, span, and temper. Same children had a 30% greater chance of requiring ADHD medication. Additionally, the further into pregnancy and the longer duration for which the women took the acetaminophen, the greater the risk. And according to someone who actually was one of the co-authors of this study, a Dr. Beat Ritz of University of California, say it did surprise us to see these effects because we were hoping it's a safe medication.
Huh.
And that's an
oxymoron, Douglas. Safe medication.
Yeah, it goes to there are no safe medications.
No, there's
really.
No such thing. There's safer medications maybe, but there's no such thing as a safe medication. That's the dirty little secret of drugs. Everybody thinks about side effects, and most people know about side effects when they know about drugs, but there's effects that you get from prescription drugs that have nothing to do with side effects, that are just the manifestation of nutritional deficiencies that are caused by the body having to process those drugs. Not because those drugs are particularly toxic, specifically toxic, but simply because the body has to expend and utilize precious detoxification resources for those drugs, and those are not going to show up as side effects, and that's for all drugs, including the so-called benign or mild ones like Tylenol, which, by the way, is one of the leading causes of death in this country. Overdoses on Tylenol are a leading cause of emergency room visits and a leading cause of death as well from liver toxicity. If you are using something as like Tylenol or something like aspirin or even a cold remedy, it becomes extra important that you use your Beyond Tangy Tangerine, that you make sure you're getting these baseline nutrients so that you can replace what your body's utilizing to detoxify the Tylenol and detoxify the aspirin. The vitamin C in the Beyond Tangy Tangerine may be one of the most important detox nutrients of all. You get 1,000 milligrams per couple of scoops in the Beyond Tangy Tangerine. Vitamin E is another stupendously important detox nutrient that you get in the BTT. Zinc is another very important detox nutrient, as is magnesium, as is copper. So when you get on a nutritional supplement program, not only are you going to be giving yourself just the baseline nutrients that everybody needs to live, but you're also going to be replacing the nutrients that your body uses up to detoxify things like Benadryl and aspirin and Tylenol and all these other kinds of drugs that are just part of our culture and that we consider to be just benign and par for the course when it comes to being a human being in the 21st century. Get yourself on the Beyond Tangy Tangerine. Get yourself on the Healthy Start Pack and notice the difference yourself. All right, I'm Pharmacist Ben. We're coming back with your phone calls at 831-685-1080, 831-685-1080, or our toll-free number is 888-379-2552, 888-379-2552. You're listening to the Dead Doctors Don't Lie program on the CBS Radio Network. Okay, Douglas, what do you say we take our first phone call of the day?
All right, let's head to Medford, Oregon. And Alan, you're on with Pharmacist Ben Fuchs.
Hey, Alan.
Hi, Pharmacist Ben.
What's going on?
Well, I have a question. It's always kind of bothered me, but I figured, hey, you're probably the great guy to ask besides Dr. Wallach.
Okay.
I've been taking longevity for, a good year pretty much straight. And my body, it reacts to it differently.
Tell me what you mean.
I've always had an energy problem as far as like
feeling
when
fatigued?
I take the product. Well, fatigue. I don't know if it's fatigue per se. Just not a lot of energy.
Okay, well that's fatigue. You just kind of feel lethargy. You're kind of slothful, just like laying around, not doing anything. All right. Well, assuming that's not, a psychological, or emotional, or mental or even spiritual issue, all those dimensions, as you know, if you've heard me speak, I'm always talking about the multi-dimensions of healing, spiritual, mental, emotional, and then physical, leaving aside the spiritual, mental, and emotional aspects, which can definitely have something to do with just feeling lethargic. There's always nutritional strategies that you want to employ. The most important thing to do when you're just feeling crappy is think about your lymphatic system. Your lymphatic system is your sewage system. It's your drainage system for poisons. Like a sewer drains poisons out of a city, the lymphatic system drains poisons out of the body. When that lymphatic system becomes clogged, we don't feel good. We feel lethargic. And oftentimes we'll get sick. We'll get regularly sick. Folks get colds all the time, and God forbid, there's even worse things that can happen when the lymphatics get clogged. If you're waking up in the morning, you're just tired. If you take a nap and you just can't seem to wake up, or you just don't feel kind of have that energy, that zest for life, think about from a physical perspective. Number one, think about your lymphatic system. And there's a couple things you could do. Number one, you want to make sure that you're not putting toxins into the body, and that means working on the digestive system. That's always job number one. Focus on probiotics. The Biolumin Nightly Essence is one of my all-time favorite probiotics. It is my favorite probiotic supplement because not only does it have probiotics, but it also has digestive enzymes. That's very rare for a probiotic supplement to have enzymes in addition to having the good bacteria, and that can be very important for keeping toxins from getting into the lymph. Using your ultimate enzymes after meals, that's another important strategy. And then making sure you're getting enough liquid nutrients, especially fatty nutrients in a liquid format, and that means you're Beyond Tangy Tangerine. You might also want to consider drinking water. In addition to using your Beyond Tangy Tangerine, drinking water, that can help liquefy the lymph a little bit. And then my favorite way, non-nutritional way anyway, to help with the lymph, to help improve lymphatic circulation is to get a rebounder, a mini trampoline, and jump on that mini trampoline for 2 minutes a day, 2 minutes twice a day maybe. That alone can make a huge difference in improving lymphatic circulation and helping you feel better. In fact, if you're just feeling lethargic and you get on a rebounder, mini trampoline, and jump up and down for 2 or 3 minutes, that alone can have a nice effect on giving you a little boost of energy, a little stimulation. And the Beyond Tangy Tangerine, by the way, the B complex in there is almost like an energy jolt. In fact, a lot of people will tell you that the Beyond Tangy Tangerine gives them so much energy that they got to be careful about taking it too close to bed. Have you heard about this, Doug? People say they can't even sleep. Sometimes they have so much energy from the Beyond Tangy Tangerine. So the BTT is not only a good source of nutrition, but it's also a good source of energizing nutrients. All right. So three main strategies. You want to work on that digestive system. Make sure you're not getting toxins into the body. Number 2, focus on lymphatic circulation, get on a rebounder, drinking more fluids. And number 3, making sure you're getting on a nice liquid nutritional program like the Beyond Tangy Tangerine. BTT is a stupendous source of these liquid nutrients. Thanks for your call. Appreciate it. Michael in Oregon, I think we said your name was. And we're going to take a break. We're going to come back and take your phone calls, continue taking your phone calls at 831-685-1080, 831-685-1080, or 888-379-2552, 888-379-2552. You're listening to the Dead Doctors Don't Lie program. I'm Pharmacist Ben, along with Doug Winfrey. We'll be back right after this.
Let's head to upstate New York. And Dave, you're on with Pharmacist Ben Fuchs.
Hey, Dave.
Hello.
What's
I'm
up,
calling
buddy?
because I have some, I believe, possibly complications for a spider bite that I had a year and a half ago. After about 4 months, I started getting ringing in my ears.
Oh, no.
And I finally checked the blood pressure, and I found it higher than normal for me.
Okay.
And a couple more months after that, I started getting a rash on my ankle, about 2 inches from where the bite was.
Well, what do you now? Tell me. Let's talk about some other stuff here, okay? Let's try to get a whole general picture on what's going on in your body. How old are you, first of all, approximately?
65.
Okay. Height to weight, roughly. How tall? How much?
5'11", 190.
Muscly or not so muscly?
Well, muscly.
Okay. Any issues with blood pressure? Any issues with diabetes or diabetes in the family or anything like that?
I've had blood pressure problems since that ringing in my ears started.
Well, have you had any blood pressure before the bite? What was going on before the bite? No, I'm trying to pin it down. If it's just the spider bite, then you're going to need to clean that thing out. There's also good nutritional strategies you can use too. A couple things for cleaning your body out, cleaning toxins out of the body. There's a couple strategies. Bentonite clay is a great way to do it, and then the Z radical. The Z radical is probably one of my favorite detoxification supplements. That algae's got an ability to magnetically attract toxins out of your body. So using the Z radical is a good strategy. Vitamin C is probably the all-time best detoxifying substance, and of course you're going to get 1,000 milligrams per 2 scoops in the Beyond Tangy Tangerine. Make sure I assume you're doing the Mighty 90. Make sure you're doing the Mighty 90 if you're not. And then you also might want to throw in a little extra dose of magnesium, which has some great detox properties as well. You'll get that, of course, in the OsteoMag product from Longevity. So first of all, you want to focus on detoxification. Second of all, you want to make sure you're doing the Mighty 90. If you got any digestive issues, that's going to complicate things and make it much harder for your body to process toxins. And by the way, we don't talk about this a lot, but the Biolumin Nightly Essence is a great detoxifying substance. Very often when we don't have the right proportion or the right amount of bacteria in our gut, we can run into blood toxicity, and using Lumen Nightly Essence is a great way to protect yourself from that. And then don't forget about the Z Radical as well. And then the last thing I'll tell you is see if you could figure out what was happening in your body, if you can remember anyway, what was happening in your body before you had that spider bite. Because it doesn't sound to me like you're experiencing, it may be, I'm not going to say nay, definitely not, but my hunch is that you're not as much experiencing the effects of the spider bite as you are experiencing the effects of just a general breakdown in the body. And if you focus on the spider bite and not this general breakdown in the body, which you can correct by using the Mighty 90 and the Z Radical, etc., you may be putting the emphasis on the wrong syllable, as my mom used to say. So try to focus on general health and building the body generally rather than just this issue with the spider bite, whether or not it is the spider bite indeed that's causing your problems. Thanks so much for your call. Appreciate it, Dave in New York. Who is next on the line there, Douglas?
Let's head to Louisiana. And Diane, you're on with Pharmacist Ben Fuchs.
Hi.
Hey, Diane.
Hi. I have been the unsuspecting patient of an unconsented exploratory macular hole surgery over 2 years ago.
Wait a minute. Slow down. I didn't quite get that. You're the unsuspecting patient of a what?
Exploratory macular hole surgery.
Okay, so you
Now,
didn't consent to it, and they just did it
it's
without your
unbelievable. I've
It is
sent an
unbelievable.
8.5-page complaint to the medical board here. However, it's been dismissed, and I see them as the fox guarding the hen house. However, with that said, I've stopped going to them now that I know. I've been to over 15 ophthalmologists and optometrists. Some will not refuse to touch the eye. And right now I'm seeking truth about my condition, and I just need some relief at this point.
You want to build that macula up again?
Correct. And I don't believe anything that they're telling me at this point.
I don't blame you.
I refuse to return to them. And all I find myself doing is shelling out money, and they're just monitoring the exploratory surgery and not telling me the truth.
So they just did surgery on you without telling you?
Right.
Is that what I'm understanding?
They did not do the correct surgery. I thought they were doing the correct surgery. And it's conspiratorial. I mean, it's just...
Well, let's talk about how we handle this. Let's talk about how we handle the macula, okay? The macula is the technical term for the macula is the macula lutea, and lutea means yellow, and that's a yellow pigmented spot near the center of the eye in the retina area. And the fact that it's yellow is very, very important. Earlier in the program, Douglas and I were talking about the importance of pigments, and eating pigments is the best way to build these pigmented areas in the eye. We're talking about pigments in the skin, but pigments are also very important for the eye, especially yellow pigments. And yellow pigments the yellow pigments in the eye are actually nutritional substances. One's called lutein, and another is called zeaxanthin. You may have heard of these substances. They're found in fruits and vegetables, and of course, you'll also find them in the Vision FX product. So make sure you're eating your fruits and vegetables as well as getting the Vision FX product. And then any kind of pigment kinds of things are going to be in your interest. So if you do things like the Z Radical, and then Doug, there's a product, I forgot the name of it, a powdered juice product, a powdered a pigment product that we got. The Ultimate Youth is called the Ultimate Youth. Does that sound right, Doug?
Yes.
The Ultimate Youth. Yeah, you get on the Ultimate Youth, which is pigments. It's the pigments that are found in fruits and vegetables in a concentrated powder form, and you can put them in water and drink them down, or you can put them in your smoothie and drink them down. So think pigments. Think carotenoids, zeaxanthin, lutein, the Vision FX, fruits and vegetables, the Ultimate Youth product, as well as the Beyond Tangy Tangerine. That's going to get you all kinds of pigments as well in the fruit and vegetable powders, the Mighty 90 in general. Now, here's the thing about pigments that we didn't tell you. Pigments are fatty. They tend to be absorbed through the fatty system in the body. That means if you have a problem with the gallbladder, you got a problem with the pancreas or the intestine or the stomach or the liver, you may not be absorbing your fats, and that means you're not going to absorb the pigments. That's one of the reasons why the Beyond Tangy Tangerine is such a neat product, is because even if you don't have the best digestive absorption in the world, you'll still get the benefits out of these nutrients because of the liquid format in the Beyond Tangy Tangerine. In addition, when you're eating your fruits and vegetables, and this is true for anybody who's got a liver problem, and 30% of Americans, at least 30% of Americans have liver problems. If you've had your gallbladder taken out, if you have Crohn's disease, celiac disease, just any kind of digestive problems, you're at risk for malabsorption of fats, and that means malabsorption of these pigments. So what do? Well, when you're eating your vegetables, put oil on top of your vegetables, or put butter on top of your vegetables, or braise your vegetables in butter. Butter's wonderful, wonderful stuff. Great source of selenium and iodine and vitamin K and all kinds of other nutrients. So braise your vegetables in butter, and that butter will release the carotenoids and the zeaxanthin and the lutein out of the vegetables and make it easier for your body to process it. So use butter with all of your veggies to help increase the absorption, even if you don't have a digestive problem, but especially if you're dealing with any kind of fat malabsorption issues, or if you've had your liver or if you've had your gallbladder taken out, or you have any liver health issues. And women, by the way, as they get older and as they go past menopause, they tend to have a problem with fat absorption also. So if you're a postmenopausal or perimenopausal woman, or if you had a hysterectomy, you're at great risk for fat malabsorption, and that means it's extra important that you use these kinds of strategies for pulling the carotenoids, the zeaxanthin, and all these macula-building pigments out of your veggies. So you got lots of stuff to work on: digestive health, the ultimate enzymes, the Biolumin Nightly Essence, which is always important for fat malabsorption, liquid nutrients, making sure you're getting your veggies and using your veggies with a little bit of butter to pull those pigments out. And thanks so much for your call. That's terrible. That's a terrible thing. Unconsenting surgery. All right. I'm Pharmacist Ben. You're listening to the Dead Doctors Don't Lie program. Got one more segment to talk to you at 831-685-1080 or 888-379-2552. We'll be back at you with more good health information right after this on the Dead Doctors Don't Lie radio program. All right, we're back on the Dead Doctors Don't Lie program. Got a couple more minutes to talk to you at 831-685-1080 or 888-92552. Who's next on the line, Doug?
Let's head to Charlotte, North Carolina. And Alma, you're on with Pharmacist Ben Fuchs.
Hello there, Alma. What's going on?
Hi, Dr. Wallach. It's
Hi there.
interesting
This
that
is
the lady
Pharmacist Ben.
before me had a problem with her eyes because I have, well, I know it's the same, but the tunnel vision is gone, and I am taking the Vision FX. But I'm calling in reference to my son who had a heart attack, and they said that his ejection fraction was 15, but it's gone up to 20 now. So I was wondering what product is on the market that you have that would help build up the ejection fraction in his heart.
Got to build that heart up. The heart's not pumping like it should. That's basically
right.
What that means. So we want to make it more. We want to make it stronger. Cardio FX for sure. You should be getting on that right away. That's for all cardiovascular issues. That's a key player. And then also the OsteoMag is another very important product for the heart, even though we don't talk about it that much. Magnesium, there's a lot of minerals that are important for the heart. Magnesium's certainly right up there. So the OsteoMag and then the Cardio FX in general. Of course, you want to make sure that you're on your on the Healthy Start Pack. That goes without saying. That'll get you your essential fatty acids, which are also very important for the heart. And the Beyond Tangy Tangerine is one of the most heart-friendly nutritional supplements you could ever think of. Taking zinc, vitamin A, vitamin C. It's loaded with heart-friendly nutrients. If there's any digestive problems, that means toxins are going to get into the blood and into the lymph, and that's going to make it harder on the heart. This is such an important component of heart disease, you guys. It's so understated, it's so underappreciated, and it may be, if it's not the most, it's one of the most important mechanisms behind heart disease. When toxins get into the blood secondary or following digestive breakdown, it makes it much harder for the heart to pump, and it makes it much harder for the lymphatic fluids to move around. All of these can cause problems with heart disease and heart failure, et cetera, et cetera. So making sure that the digestive system is working pristinely is very, very important. That means the Biolumin Nightly Essence and eliminating any problem foods. It wouldn't hurt you to get on the Ultimate Enzymes. You're going to get enzymes in the Biolumin Nightly Essence. Of course, if you use the digestive enzymes in addition to that, that can help clean the blood. This is one of the neat little benefits of digestive enzymes. They help clean the blood. They help break up clots in the blood and keep things moving nice and smoothly. A couple other miscellaneous strategies for protecting the heart. Make sure you're deep breathing. At the end of the day, the heart's raison d'etre, its reason for existence, well, it probably has a lot of reasons for existence, but one of its most important reasons for existence is to help push and deliver oxygen to the cells. The more cells are getting oxygen, the less effort your heart will have to expend to push the blood. So sit down and practice your deep breathing techniques. Lots of good strategies there for you for taking care of the heart. OsteoMag, Cardio FX, your Beyond Tangy Tangerine, as well as digestive strategies. Wouldn't hurt to get on a rebounder either. That'll help improve circulation and take a little bit of the load off the heart. Thanks so much for your call. Alma in Charlotte, North Carolina. Let's see if we can get a couple more calls in there, Doug.
All right, let's head to Farmington, Pennsylvania. And Barbara, you're on with Pharmacist Ben Fuchs.
Hey, Barbara.
Hi, Ed. I'm calling on behalf of my husband. My husband is a severe type 2 diabetic. He has just recently been told that he is actually legally blind.
Oh, my goodness.
He hasn't been able, he can't drive anymore.
Let's get you some help. I only got a couple minutes. I want to get some help for you, okay, ma'am?
Yes.
Okay. Diabetes, and if I forgot to tell Alma in North Carolina that diabetes and blood sugar control are super important for cardiovascular health. If Alma's still listening, get on the sweeties. I forgot to mention that. My bad. And the same goes for you, my dear Barbara in Farmington. You want to be focusing on controlling that blood sugar. That means a couple strategies. Number one, focus on the sweeties and the B complex and using nutritional supplements that help the body process sugar. Magnesium is very important, the Osteomag, and then the Beyond Tangy Tangerine. Of course, that's always important. And then get on the Slender FX. More protein, less carbs. More protein, less bread. More protein, less potatoes. That's so important. Not just for you, Barbara, and your husband. Not just for diabetics. For all of us. The more protein we get, the more nutrition we get, the less we eat the crappy processed corporate swill, the healthier we're going to be. Folks, we're not sick. We're starving. And that's the end of the day. That's the bottom line. And that's all we got time for today. Thanks so much for listening, friends. I'm Pharmacist Ben for Doc, and for Doug, and for all the folks at the ZBS Radio Network. Have yourselves a wonderful, awesome, beautiful, tremendous day. We'll talk to y'all later. Bye for now.